What's up, guys? Welcome to May 6th as we dive into 1st Kings chapter 2, where it talks about David's final instructions to Solomon. At the time of King David's death approached, he gave this charge to his son Solomon. I'm going where everyone on earth must someday go. Take courage and be a man. Observe the requirements of the Lord your God and follow all his ways. Keep the decrees, commands, regulations, and laws written in the law of Moses, so that you will be successful in all you do and wherever you go. If you do this, then the Lord will keep the promise he made to me. He told me, if your descendants live as they should and follow me faithfully with all their heart and soul, one of them will always sit on the throne of Israel. And there is something else you must know. You know what Joab, son of Zeruiah, did to me? When he murdered my two armed commanders, Abner son of Ner and Amasa son of Jether, he pretended that it was an act of war, but it was done in a time of peace, staining his belt and sandals with innocent blood. Do with him what you think best, but don't let him grow old and go to his grave in peace. Be kind to the sons of Barzillai of Gilead. Make them permanent guests at your table, for they took care of me when I fled from your brother Absalom. And remember Shammai, son of Gera, the man from Bahiram in Benjamin. He cursed me with a terrible curse as I was fleeing to Mahanaim. When he came down to meet me at the Jordan River, I swore by the Lord that I would not kill him. But that oath does not make him innocent. You are a wise man, and you will know how to arrange a bloody death for him. 2 Samuel chapter 23. David's last words. These are the last words of David. David, the son of Jesse, speaks. David, the one who was raised up so high. David, the man anointed by the God of Jacob. David, the sweet psalmist of Israel. The Spirit of the Lord speaks through me. His words are upon my tongue. The God of Israel spoke. The Rock of Israel said to me, the one who rules righteously will rule, who rules in the fear of God, is like the light of morning at sunrise, like a morning without clouds, like the gleaming of the sun on the new glass after rain. Is it not my family God has chosen? Yes, he has made an everlasting covenant with me. His agreement is arranged and guaranteed in every detail. He will ensure my safety and success. But the godless are like thorns to be thrown away, for they tear the hand that touches them. For one must use iron tools to chop them down. They will be totally consumed by fire. 1 Chronicles chapter 2, verse 10. David's death. Then David died and was buried with his ancestors in the city of David. David had reigned over Israel for 40 years, 7 of them in Hebron and 33 in Jerusalem. Solomon became king and sat on the throne of David, his father, and his kingdom was firmly established. 1 Chronicles chapter 29, verses 26 through 30. Summary of David's reign. So David, son of Jesse, reigned over all Israel. He reigned over Israel for 40 years, 7 of them in Hebron and 33 in Jerusalem. He died at a ripe old age, having enjoyed long life, wealth, and honor. Then his son Solomon ruled in his place. All the events of King Solomon's reign, from beginning to end, are written in the record of Samuel the seer, the record of Nathan the prophet, and the record of Gad the seer. These accounts include the mighty deeds of his reign and everything that happened to him and to Israel and to all the surrounding kingdoms. Most of David's psalms are not connected with specific events. His undated psalms are collected here. Psalm 4. For the choir director, a psalm of David, to be accompanied by string instruments. Answer me when I call to you. O God, who declares me innocent, free me from my troubles. Have mercy on me and hear my prayer. How long will you let my people, how long will you people ruin my reputation? How long will you make God groundless accusations? How long will you continue your lies? You can be sure of this, the Lord set apart the godly for himself. The Lord will answer when I call to him. Don't sin by letting anger control you. Think about it overnight and remain silent. Offer sacrifices in the right spirit and trust the Lord. Many people say, who will show us better times? Let your face smile on us, Lord. You have given me greater joy than those who have abundant harvests of grain and new wine. In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, O Lord, will keep me safe. Psalms 5. For the choir director, a psalm of David, to be accompanied by the flute. O Lord, hear me as I pray. Pay attention to my groans. Listen to my cries for help, my King and my God, for I pray to no one but you. Listen to my voice in the morning, Lord. Each morning I bring my requests to you and wait expectantly. O God, you take no pleasure in wickedness. You cannot tolerate the sins of the wicked. Therefore the proud may not stand in your presence, for you hate all who do evil. You will destroy those who tell lies. The Lord detests murderers and deceivers. Because of your unfailing love, I can enter your house. I will worship at your temple with deepest awe. Lead me in the right path, O Lord. All my enemies will conquer me. Make your way plain for me to follow. My enemies cannot speak a truthful word. Their deepest desire is to destroy others. Their talk is foul, like the stench from an open grave. Their tongues are filled with flattery. O God, declare them guilty. Let them be caught in their own traps. Drive them away because of their many sins, for they have rebelled against you. But let all who take refuge in your voice, let them sing joyful praises forever. Spread your protection over them, that all who love your name may be filled with joy. For you bless the godly, O Lord. You surrounded them with your shield of love. Psalm 6. For the choir director, a psalm of David, to be accompanied by an 8-stringed instrument. O Lord, don't rebuke me in your anger or discipline me in your rage. Have compassion on me, O Lord, for I am weak. Heal me, Lord, for my bones are in agony. I am sick at heart. How long, O Lord, until you restore me? Return, O Lord, and rescue me. Save me because of your unfailing love. For the dead do not remember you. Who can praise you from the grave? I am sworn out from sobbing. All night I flooded my bed with weeping, drenching it with my tears. My vision is blurred by grief. My eyes are worn out because of all my enemies. Go away, all you who do evil, for the Lord has not heard my weeping. The Lord has heard my plea. The Lord will answer my prayer. May all my enemies be disgraced and terrified. May they suddenly turn back in shame. Psalm 8. For the psalm director, a psalm of David, to be accompanied by a string instrument. O Lord our God, your majestic name fills the earth. Your glory is higher than the heavens. You have taught children and infants to tell of your strength, silencing your enemies and all who oppress you. When I look at the night sky and see the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars you set in place, what are mere mortals that you should think about them, human beings that you should care for them? Yet you made them only a little lower than lower than God, and crown them with glory and honor. You give them charge of everything you made, putting all things under their authority, the flocks and the herds, and all the wild animals, the birds in the sky, the fish in the sea, and everything that swims the ocean currents. O Lord our God, your majestic name fills the earth. Psalms 9. For the choir director, Psalm of David, to be sung to the tune, Death of the Son. I will praise you, Lord, with all my heart. I will tell of the marvelous things you have done. I will be filled with joy because of you. I will sing praises to your name, O Most High. My enemies retreat, they stagger and die when you appear. For you have judged in my favor. From your throne you have judged with fairness. You have rebuked the nations and destroyed the wicked. You have erased their names forever. The enemy is finished. In endless ruins, the cities you uproot are now forgotten. But the Lord reigns forever, executing judgment from his throne. He will judge the world with justice and rule the nations with fairness. The Lord is a shelter for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. Those who know your name trust in you. For you, O Lord, do not abandon those who search for you. Sing praises to the Lord who reigns in Jerusalem. Tell the world about his unforgettable deeds. For he who avenges murder cares for the helpless. He does not ignore the cries of those who suffer. Lord, have mercy on me. See how my enemies torment me. Snatch me back from the jaws of death. Save me so I can praise you publicly at Jerusalem's gate, so I can rejoice that you have rescued me. The nations have fallen into the pit they dug for others. Their own feet have been caught in the trap of their set. The Lord is known for his justice. The wicked are trapped by their own deeds. The wicked will go down to the grave. This is the fate of all the nations who ignored God. But the needy will not be ignored forever. The hopes of the poor will not always be crushed. Arise, O Lord. Do not let mere mortals defy you. Judge the nations. Make them tremble in fear, O Lord. Let the nations know they are merely human. Psalms 11. For the choir director, a psalm of David. I trust in the Lord for protection. So why do you say to me, fly like a bird to the mountains for safety? The wicked are stringing their bows and fitting their arrows on the bowstring. They shoot from the shadows at those whose hearts are right. The foundations of law and order have collapsed. What can the righteous do? But the Lord is in his holy temple. The Lord still rules from heaven. He watches everyone closely, examining every person on earth. The Lord examines both the righteous and the wicked. He hates those who love violence. He will rain down blazing coal and burning sulfur on the wicked, punishing them with scorching wind. For the righteous Lord loves justice. The virtuous will see his face. And that's the end for today. Yeah, there were definitely a lot of psalms. But yeah, David basically in First Kings chapter 2 really kind of helped Solomon to tell Solomon these things should be done. But he didn't really want to tell Solomon what he wants Solomon to do. He kind of wants Solomon to kind of make his own decisions on what to do with Joab. On Joab, and then Barzillai, who is a good character, and then and Shimei. And so with these characters, it's like Solomon now has to decide what he wants to do with them. David has finally handed over the reign and say, go ahead, do what you think is best for the country and for the nation stuff. And so he kind of led Solomon to become his own man already, in a sense. But yeah, whenever Christians are filled with the Holy Spirit, the Spirit will speak through their servants. That the God of Israel, the Rock of Israel, said to me, the one who rules righteously, who rules in the fear of God, is like the light of morning at sunrise, like a morning without clouds, like the gleaming of the sun on new grass after rain. That's kind of like a symbolic to kind of, if we live like a righteous life for God, if we live like a righteous life and also fear Him. Fearing does not mean like physically be afraid. It's like more like be mindful of who He is, be mindful of Him when we about to do something. But yeah, when we do something like when we live our lifestyle like that, we are like a light in the world. That like just like when we go out in public, when we go into schools, when we go to public settings, people will notice us with the way we carry ourselves. And so yeah, it's like sometimes you don't have to say anything. It's like your presence could, you being there, the Holy Spirit could work through you. The Holy Spirit is going to bring people into your life that's hopefully you have it there to kind of get to know God more. Get to know God more, wants to learn more about God. But yeah, then David, for those people who follow Jesus, who follows God, when you know that like you are in an everlasting covenant with Jesus, that you are guaranteed to be saved, not because of what you do, not because of what I do, but because of what Jesus have done for me and you. That may you know that may you just know that like you can now live a life with hope, with assurance that you are no longer not saved. Like having to doubt your salvation. You don't have to doubt that if you live a lifestyle of righteousness, of fear of God, being mindful of God and stuff. But yeah, then King David dies, and then David rules for like 40 years, and then Psalms. So basically, Psalms 4 talks about so like it says, answer me when I call to you, O God who declares me innocent, free me from my troubles, have mercy on me, and hear my prayer. That's kind of to show like only like when people accuses you of things, may you know that like not everything they accuse you of that you're guilty for, that like God sees your true heart, that He knows that why you did the things that you do, why you did the things that you did, and like what you're trying to accomplish, basically. And then you're gonna encounter people who's gonna ruin your reputation, who's gonna accuse you of things, who's gonna lie about you. But like that, as long as we are following the path of God, that God will set you apart as godly for Himself. And that one of the ways you can sin, in Psalms 4 it says, is by anger. When you let your anger control your emotions, control your life, it consumes your life, and it becomes a sin because you start doing things that you would not have done if you were not angry. And that's why it's important for us to keep control of our emotions, keep in check, that we're making sure that we are being the masters of our emotions. Right? We have to let our emotions. We have to be the masters of our emotions, not the other way around. The masters our emotions should not be the master of our life. That's what I'm trying to say. And then so as we kind of move forward, there's a good prayer David wants to, like, a prayer that David's hoping is like God shows his favoritism, not even favoritism, but his favor upon David and bless David. I think that's all we really ask for God, is to give us peace where we can lie down and sleep, because we trust that God at the end of the day wraps us, watches over us. And so Psalms 5 talks about David praying, and how it talks about God. We desire for God to listen to our voice. Sometimes it's hard for us to comprehend that, like, God does hear us. That sometimes all we have to do is just keep praying. That keep praying does not mean to be desperate. Keep praying is like showing our devotions to God. Just praying out of devotion for God, not out of desperation for God. And how we for Psalms 5 really talks about like for how good God is, how righteous He is, that He takes no pleasure in wickedness, that He cannot tolerate sins of the wicked, that He cannot stand people who are proud, that He cannot stand those people who do evil, who tells lies, who murders and did lies. Because I already said that. But yeah, when we are in the covenant with God, we are basically saying that because of God's love for us, that we may enter and spend eternity with Him, and that when we get to heaven, that we will be like forever be praising God. And then I think all of us who are Christ believers, we all want that desire in our heart, which is I don't know, which is that we all want to go praise God for the rest of our lives, in a way where we are not being persecuted, in ways where Christians are not being shamed for loving God, because in heaven everyone loves God, everyone submits themselves to God, and then David's asking God to help lead us into like a straight path. It's in a world where we are like really consumed by everything around us, we kind of lose track of what we actually live for. And then we have to have that foundation saying, at the end of the day, God, you're the one who I live for. There's nobody else I live for. And then your enemies are obviously going to lie about you. They want to destroy you. They say bad things about you. They try to flatter you. But even though we may not be able to fully understand where they're coming from, or we may not even fully be aware of what they're doing, maybe finding comfort that in verse 10 it says, "Oh God, declare them guilty, let them be caught in their own traps, drive them away because of their own many sins, for they have rebelled against you." Just to show like we may not know people's true intentions, but we know that God knows each of our true intentions. So like may we all like rest in peace, like live in peace, knowing that's the fact, knowing that God at the end of the day knows who is truly genuine about what they say, who's genuine about their faith, And then and then Psalm 6, I think if I said Psalms 5, okay, so the one we talked about is Psalm 5, and now we're talking about Psalm 6. And Psalm 6 is talking about David basically asking God to forgive. We all need to be asking for forgiveness when our hearts, when we have done things that gets God worked up, gets God to be angry, that we have to ask for forgiveness. And that comes from humility, humility, saying, God, I've done wrong, come and rescue me. Not because of me being able to do anything I can to overcome, I'll do the bad, but it's because of your unfailing love that are we saved and things. But yeah, and he talks about how like as it like David mourns. David shows a lot of emotions, guys. It's just something that just popped in my head. It's like David shows more emotions than probably like majority of now men do, and that's something that we need to change about men in general. It's like it is okay to show emotions. It does not make you look weak. It actually makes you look stronger, because you show that you kind of have the maturity to show emotions. You show like you living more like Christ, because Jesus also showed human emotions and stuff. And then Psalms 8 talks about Psalms 8 talks about the majesty of God, how his glory is higher than the heavens. So you have taught children and infants to tell of your strength in us, silencing your enemies and all who oppose you. Psalms 8 is kind of basically praising God for all that he is, for the power, for the glory, for the majestic presence of him. That's the God we serve. And there's no words. These words are even not capable of describing the God that we all serve. A God who truly loves us, a God that truly desires to care for us and to be in a relationship with us. And we have to be the ones to take the initiative step to say, God, okay, I want you to be my relationship. I want you to be in my life. And then Psalm 8 just, again, we kind of talk more about praising God and how like enemies retreat because they know that whenever God is on your side, nothing in this world can ever oppose or stop you from doing whatever God asks of you. And now we get to the last part where it talks about when it talks about there's no evil that can escape God. Meaning like there's nothing like all the sins that we have committed that yes, even though God has forgiven us, that does not mean that he can hold us accountable for those things. And so I think that's really important for us to realize that yes, God does still hold us accountable for the things we have committed. And then Psalms 11 is where we're just asking for God to protect us against the wicked, against the unrighteousness. Protect us from those spiritual attacks that we all live each day to fighting against. And that at the end of the day, may we know that the Lord is righteous and he loves justice. And that he examines both the righteous and the wicked. And obviously, he punishes the wicked, but loves those who loves justice. And so that's kind of the end for today. So may we go and walk with God today.